And what are your takes on human immortality? Do you think human can live forever with the help of advanced science or in the cryogenic chambers? Look, I think there's always going to be this fantasy, especially within people who are just genuinely afraid of death. So people who don't want to die and people who are really rich and they do not want to die, they're afraid of it. They're going to start researching. They're going to put millions, if not billions of dollars into science and researching, extending the longevity of life or the period in which a person is normally alive. I don't think right now we have the technology to pull that off. I think if you give the human being infinite time, maybe we can achieve something very close to immortality. Like, arguably, right, if you have infinite time, then eventually, yeah, I think human beings will find out a way to regenerate or to make cell regeneration a process that has no toll on the human body. Like, a cell will multiply, cell division will happen, and there's no like energy expended. There's nothing. I think that could happen, right? If it's not that, then they're gonna figure out how to put a person's soul, brain, and memory into this like computer, maybe, and then you're gonna be like alive in a different body, perhaps. I don't know how that works out. I think it's more feasible to make your body like the elixir of immortality type shit. Or you develop this elixir that basically if you consume it, you're going to be fine. But I don't know, man. Will we have that? Will that eventually happen? Like, do human beings have infinite time? I don't think so. I think we will be the cause of our own destruction at one point. Eventually, there's going to be another world war, or some mad lad is going to have, the nuclear codes, and we're all going to die. And I don't think we have infinite time. I think the end is near, or the end is like somewhat close. I think. Yeah, I don't think we will get there. If I'm proven wrong, then amazing, cool. I'm not the all-knowing or the know-it-all, say-it-all. It's not up to me. It's up to God, and it's up to, how we decide to move on as a collective. And I think, yeah, like, peace can only last for so long. Eventually, like, a war will happen, or like this natural disaster, unforeseen, and shit's just gonna go down. It's just gonna be bad. That's the way I see it. And with the rise of AI, I think anything is possible at this point. A lot of things are possible, and we're entering the age of cyber warfare. I mean, when you got when you have the Spotify CEO investing $700 million, give or take, into AI war drone technology, and I'm not making this up. It's like it's a headline, man. Look at this shit. Spotify faces boycott over CEO's $700 million investment in AI military defense startup. Like, the homie's not investing in like a food bank or in like a water supply that could provide water for millions and millions of people. He's putting his money, mind you, $700 million worth of it, into AI war drone techs. That is just fucking insane, man. We're doomed. When you read things like that, it's just like, bruh, GG, man. It's like, what? Give me $700 million. Give me $700 million. I'll keep 10 of them to myself, maybe 10 or 15, 20. I'll keep 20 M's to myself, and I'll spend the other $680 million on providing food or water to people. I'm not going to invest it in like cancer research or AIDS or whatever. No, I think for me, feeding people and making sure they have drinking water is more important. Because, yeah, I mean, you can fund all these, science research and development initiatives. And, yeah, I mean, I'd rather have a world that has no cancer than cancer in it. But if the homie ain't eating or not, if the homie isn't eating food or drinking water, then it doesn't matter if he has cancer or not, right? Like, you're going to die before anything happens. So give me $700 million, man. That's, again, I've said it before. That's why we are where we are. I'm a dumb streamer. I'm not the CEO of this, like, important company. I'm not that influential. I'm just a guy talking to a camera, talking into a microphone, streaming old school RuneScape, and I got certain opinions and certain takes. And yeah, this is just fucking insane. Just reading this headline, there's not gonna be I don't think we get there, man. I don't think we have enough time to explore infinity and beyond. I don't think, will there be some research and whatnot? And will there be more advances in the field of science? Of course. We're still alive today. And as long as there's somebody living, you're going to just continue. The fate of human existence or the story of humanity. And there's always going to be advancements in many fields. But again, it's not this. The headline isn't, Spotify gets praised because they're investing $700 million in food banks or in, electricity for people who need electricity, or, better internet, or, food, water for people who need it. The headline is Spotify faces boycott over CEO's $700 million investment in AI military defense startup. So we're cooked. We're fucked. That's all that needs to be said and done. All right. So those elite top 1% can just do whatever they wanted to. Like, the 1% has more money than the rest of humanity combined. It's just sad, bro. It's just really sad. And I love me some science fiction. I love me some, daydreaming about utopia. I often daydream about a world where, nobody is hungry, nobody is dying, nobody is sick, nobody is poor. You're at a beach, you're at a place where you can just have fun, smile, eat good food. But it's just a daydream of mine. It's not real. And I know that there are other people who daydream about something like this. That's where it stays. That's where it starts and that's where it finishes, as a dream. Have you ever thought to yourself, what is the price? What price do we have to pay to never have a war ever in life? Maybe the price is the biggest war that ends humanity, right? Maybe what you have to sacrifice in order to get that is so big, humanity doesn't continue. So what do we have to do so that there isn't one more war ever? What do we have to do so that there is no person in the world who knows what starvation is, or cancer, or all these fucking diseases that take a lot of us way too soon? What do we have to do so that there aren't any more school shootings or senseless, abominable killings that are really unjustifiable? What do we have to do as a collective species to not read things like this, right? Because again, this is the headline. Spotify faces boycott over CEO's $700 million investment $700 million investment in AI military defense startup. Why isn't it, homie is investing in food banks, in giving electricity to people who need it, in providing food and water to people who don't have it, better internet for people who have shitty internet, right? The headline is this one. This is what we got, right? This is it. This is it. It's not. Again, that's why I don't think we don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time left. What is that? I don't know. I think, they say that like one day for God is like 1 million years for a human being, or like 1,000 days or 10,000 days. So God's time is definitely, it behaves differently than the way we perceive time. So when is it going to happen? I don't know. Again, I'm not God. I'm not the all-knowing. I'm an idiot. But I don't think we have a lot of time left in retrospect. And I'm an optimist, I want people to continue the history of man if it leads to somewhere good. And in a world where it's like we're extinct or we're like happy and thriving, I pick the world where we're happy and thriving rather than the one where we're extinct, right? But again, it's not up to me. And it seems that there are just bad actors in the world. There's just people who are continuously making sure, wars are a thing and disease are a thing and poverty is a thing. And so I'm just an idiot. And I'm an idiot that daydreams a lot. But that's where it stays. Utopia is like a daydream. It's like it's not real. You wake up and today you see Ukraine still at war with Russia or vice versa. Russia is still invading Ukraine. There's arguably a genocide happening in the Gaza Strip. So many fucking countries have these like conflicts going on. It's just like, bruh, turning on the news in 2025 is a headache. And it's just sad, bro. So yeah, back then people are worried about the atomic bomb. Now we've come full circle with these more advanced technological weapons. History is deemed to repeat itself. Yeah, man, I think so. And the casualty, the consequence will be greater because these weapons are more devastating, right? If you compare an atom bomb right now to one that was launched in 1945, the atom bomb right now is just different. It's just more explosive. It's more damaging. So, and the weaponry has advanced to such a point that it's like, yeah, but I see a mosquito. I don't like this. It's going to suck my blood. I don't like that. So yeah, we have like more insane weapons. Like we have hydrogen bombs, which are like fucking insane. You have these ballistic missiles that can travel thousands of miles or kilometers. We just have like, we probably have like a device that could cause like an earthquake and by henceforth a tsunami or fucking something. Like what imagine the weapons that like these top tier governments and military infrastructures hide from, common man or common place. There's got to be some fucking insane weaponry that these governments or agencies hide from us, top secret, as they would say. It's fucking insane. I don't have, that's why I don't really have a lot of faith in us. Eventually, like, something is going to happen. It's going to fucking erase or disintegrate either a continent or like half the world, and then still people would be like, like, can we learn from this and never repeat it again? There's gonna be some idiot who's gonna delete the other half of the world. It's like, you think we'd learn from our mistakes. No, man. Humanity is destined to live on this like permanent cyclical loop that never changes. There have been countless wars since the dawn of time, and there are wars now. What do you think? You think by some miracle wars are just suddenly not going to stop? Humanity's narrative is one based in which war is just a system that provides money to those who invest in it and just people die. The people who fight in it die, but the people who cause it or invest on it, they get benefited, man. They win. It's how it's always been. Back then, it used to be like in, I don't know, the year 1000, year zero. It used to be, yeah, man, you know, the weaponsmith is like, I'm going to sell X country's 10,000 swords. I'm going to sell this other country 3 million swords. And somebody who's not even related to the conflict is like, you know what? Let's just start some shit so that we can sell more swords. And not only the guy who's selling swords benefits, but you know, to be out there and waging war, you need to have armor on as well. So the guy who sells leather and, you know, shields is like, well, you sold these guys 1,000 swords. These guys are also going to need 1,000 shields. And then the guy who sold 3 million swords to the other guy is like, well, you're going to need 3 million leather helmets and chain armor on so that those swords don't give you a single scratch. That's always happened, man. It's like a lot of things are rooted in the Cain and Abel biblical story. You got a good guy who's willing to like sacrifice or give the best of the best to just honor the creator. And then you got the guy who's doing the complete opposite. And you have like a middleman saying like, you know what, Abel, look at all the good things Abel's doing, huh? It must make you feel like shit, Mr. Cain. Tell you what though, if you kill him, it's gonna end right there and then, man. You don't have to worry about anything else. And how am I gonna kill him? Here's a knife. Here's a gun. Here's a weapon. I'll give it to you for 3 doubloons. Okay. So if you don't know, right? If there are 2 farmers, and there's like a farmer that has better looking cows and fatter cows, and you have this other farmer on the other side of the field who has shitty cows and cows that are not doing so well. It's like, dude, you don't care, right? Unless you're like being told. It's like, you know, man, that other farmer who has more succulent cows, he's just gonna do better than you, man. You know, somebody has to come in and feed like jealousy or envy to the equation, and that's where everything starts like falling apart. And that's a hard take. Humanity is always on the cyclical loop. How do you think we can go out of the loop? I don't think there is any escaping the cycle. The price has to be so overwhelming that it's like, nah, man, it's not going to happen. And again, the system always benefits the top 1%. The system, regardless of how cruel war is and how obviously it's just like a negative for the collective, there are a very small number of people who benefit from like any conflict or anything bad. Look at the pandemic, for example, right? You got the going on, and I'm not here to say if it was like a bioweapon engineered by a certain entity or a group of people. The virus happened, bruh. It killed millions of people, and while many millions of people died and many businesses were like shut down, restaurants, we were all like under quarantine, who won? Like, there was obviously somebody who won in the pandemic. And who is it? The pharmaceutical companies. And the guys fucking selling these like masks or these like, you know, pieces of cloth that you could cough into and just like, you know, the COVID mask. And then the guys who made the COVID vaccine. All these fucking crazy laboratories that are owned by these pharmaceuticals. So yeah, you know, they were free vaccines, but somebody was paying somebody else a gigantic sum of money, and somebody benefited, you know? Yeah, millions of people died, but look at all the businesses that suffered. Look at how much money was being generated by the guy selling you the fucking COVID mask and the people making the vaccines and distributing the vaccines. Dude, Pfizer had to make a bajillion dollars. So, or whoever has these contracts. But So to these people, it's like, it doesn't matter how many millions of people die, as long as we're making quintillions of dollars. Like, you know? So not gonna lie, we on some deep topics today, my G. I don't think I had it in me to have thought of all these things. Bro, I think that's BS. Because when you consider everything that's going on in the world right now, it's like, or everything that has been going on these last like 10 years, don't you have like a light bulb flashing in your head? It's like, we're doomed. You know? Like, look, I'm not saying life is diabolical or bad, because you can arguably have a very good life and do good things. But the world is truly a shitty place. The world sucks, man. Why? Because certain people who are making these rules and all these systems, they suck dick. And they want us to fight each other. They want us to kill each other. All for business. All for business. So I'm not saying life is disgusting. Life can be certainly very beautiful. But the world that we live in is truly a rotten place. It's an unfair place. It sucks, and it's always been like that, and it will always be like that. Period. Yeah, it's just like a sudden realization how fucked the world actually is. It's always been like that. It's like a case of, you know, ignorance is bliss, right? The less you know, the better. Like, dude, when you get into like conspiracy theory territory, or when you start realizing like, you know, this happened because of XYZ, you're just like, man, I wish I would have not known this, you know? It feels like all this time I've lived life through rose-tinted glass. Dude, like the second that you start realizing, like we take a lot of things for granted, right? Like how peace. Like, look, I'm so glad right now I'm neither in Ukraine or Russia, bro. Like Venezuela could have all its fucking problems. There are many problems that we have here in Venezuela. I'm not going to talk about those though. But there's not a war going on. You know, there's not a missile flying over me. Or like a drone flying somewhere with a machine gun, or with like a bomb that self-detonates. Dude, and just thinking about that is so surreal. And how lucky are we? Or how lucky am I, man, that I'm not in Ukraine, Russia, or like in Israel, the Gaza Strip. That has to be terrifying. And if I think about that, two things happen. I get depressed, obviously. It's like, fuck, man. Because I don't care who's right or wrong. The fact is, there's a war happening right now in Ukraine and Russia. And innocent people are dying. People who have not one shred of responsibility. Because it's not like, you know, Russian citizens declared war on Ukraine. It was Vladimir Putin and his, like, cabinet of people. And Ukraine's just defending itself, right, from an invasion. Yeah, it's been dragging on for years. Dude, just the thought of not hearing gunfire, explosions, missiles and bombs detonating nearby, I'm like, God bless my life, man. God, thank you. Really. Wow. How lucky I am to be really far away from like a conflict like that. So I get depressed. In one hand, it's like, holy shit. But on the other hand, I'm like, man, thank God. I'm grateful. Venezuela might be shitty in many regards, but I'm not in a zone or in a geographical location where a military conflict is happening. Dude, it's that fucking insane. So somewhere, an ocean apart, a continent apart, there is something going on. There are people literally experiencing war. It's like, nah, man, we are fucked. Today it's in Ukraine, Russia, also Israel, Gaza. Tomorrow it will be somewhere else. And all you can do is just like fucking pray that it doesn't happen where you live or in the country that you live in. Because it really isn't up to you, buddy. It's up to the fucking people governing and all these companies that need to make money. That's how fucked we are, bro. Alright? We're fucked. So yeah, peace was never an option, not in this lifetime. Nope. It unfortunately isn't. I mean, I just wish, man, that the daydream would actually be real. I wish, I wish my delusion would carry on. I wish the Spotify CEO would give me $700 million and leave it up to me so I can invest it in something. I wish, by some miracle, Elon Musk is like, you know what? I met this guy, Skits. I've been watching Skits, a Venezuelan YouTuber and live streamer. You know what? I'm going to give this man, just because I like him and he plays RuneScape and he likes hip hop and, he seems like a very smart man, like a good guy also. I'm just going to give Skits $10 billion. I have a net worth of $400 billion. I'm going to give this guy $10 billion and see what he does. But it's that. It's just a delusion. It's a daydream. And yeah, I'm not the one calling the shots. If I was the person calling the shots, we wouldn't have half the problems we do. Because if it was up to me to change this headline, instead of saying Spotify faces boycott over CEO $700 million investment in AI military defense startup, this would change. This would change. I would change this into, food banks. Or like developing electrical infrastructure in third world countries that don't have good electricity. Or change that to good drinking water, food, whatever. So, yeah. That's why we are where we are. That's why I'm not the CEO of Spotify, though. Because maybe if I would invest $700 million in an AI war drone tech company, I would be the CEO of a successful company, But I just don't have it in me to do that. What the fuck are you talking about? $700 million in an AI military defense startup? What the fuck is going on? Jesus Christ. Hell no, bruh. But hey, that's why I'm an idiot.